Bruchim haboim. Welcome everyone. We're about to begin Be'ezras Hashem together on Daf Mem Tes Amud Aleph, 6 lines from the bottom at the new Gemara. The Gemara is going on the Mishnah that says Shlochim, these various hides can be used to insulate your pot. Not only that, but you can metaltel the Shlochim because they can be used for a person to then sit on as a mat or a rug. Says the Gemara to qualify. Yossi Rabbi Yonason ben Achinoi, Rabbi Yonason ben Elazar. Rabbi Yonason ben Achinoi, together Rabbi Yonason and Elazar were sitting down. V'Yossi Rabbi Chanina bar Chama gabayu v'kamiboy lehu. Rabbi Chanina bar Chama was sitting beside them, and he asked them the following question: Shlochin shel bal habayis tnan, aval shel uman kivan dekapid alai lo metaltelin lehu. That which it says in the Mishnah, you can go ahead and metalta the shlochin, they're not muktzah. Is that referring to the shlochin of a bal habayis, of a personal homeowner, an individual? Or does it even include an uman, a craftsman, a professional? Or dilma shel uman tnan v'koshikin shel bal habayis. In other words, is it referring to an uman also or not? Does it refer to an uman and koshikin a bal habayis, or just a bal habayis and not an uman? Omar lehu, Rabbi Yonason ben Elazar, mistabur shel bal habayis tnan. It's mistabir that we're referring to over here, davka, the shlochin of a bal habayis that can be moved on Shabbos, because he's not makpid. Aval shel uman kapid alayu, because an uman, he is makpid that maybe the rugs, if they're going to be used, the hide will be used as rugs, they'll get ruined. And therefore, he's maksadaita mihen. And therefore you cannot use them and then move them on Shabbos. Omar Rabbi Chanina bar Chamo, Kach Omar Yishmael bar Rabbi Yossi. This is Rabbi Yishmael bar Yossi said, Abba Shocha Hava, my father, he was a craftsman in shlochim, in different hides. V'Omar, he said himself, Heviu shlochin. He's talking about during the week, but he said, bring me shlochin, bring me hides so that I can sit on them. So you see from here clearly that a craftsman himself is not makbid either, and therefore would not be considered muktzah even for a craftsman's hide. Ask the Gemara, Meisve, Nesorin shel bal habayis metaltelin oison. The Gemara says, you see from this brisa a distinction between a balabais and a craftsman. When it comes to the planks, when it comes to wooden planks, the balabais, you can go ahead and metaltel his wooden planks, but when it comes to the balabais, you cannot. So you see the balabais is indeed makbid. The brisa concludes, however, that if a person, including the uman, he is considering these planks to be used, they can put food for guests. So even the uman, even the craftsman, will not maksadaita from these planks, and therefore they will be able to then be metaltel on Yom Tif, or on Shabbos rather. So we're left with the question. You see over here that when it comes to the balabais, he's not makbid, but the uman is makbid. So too when it comes over here in regards to the shlochin of the uman. Says the Gemara, you have no proof, because shining nesorim, the kapid alayu. When it comes to the nesorim, these wooden planks, then the balabais is not makbid, the uman is makbid. But perhaps when it comes to the shlochin, the balabais as well as the uman are not makbid. Toshma, let's bring a proof. Oirois bein avudin bein she'ein avudin muter l'talton b'Shabbos. If you have different types of hides, whether the hides were then tanned or they are not tanned, it says over here in the brisa, you can move them on Shabbos. Loi omru avudin ella le'inyan tuma bilvad. They only said in regards to hides that are tanned, in regards to muktzah, that if they're tanned, then they're considered to be a kli, and they're not in regards to muktzah, rather in regards to tuma, that if they are tanned, then they're considered to be a kli, whereby they're mekabel tuma. If they're not yet tanned, they're in the raw state, then they're not mekabel tuma. My love lo shno shel balabayis v'lo shno shel uman. The Gemara wants to prove from here, you see from this brisa, whether it's a balabayis or an uman, it's mutar l'taltil, the hides. Says the Gemara, lo shel balabayis, our brisa is referring to the hides of a balabayis, whether they're tanned or they're not tanned, they're movable on Shabbos, they're not muktzah. Aval shel uman, what in regards to an uman? A metaltil, you could not be able to metaltil. Ask the Gemara if that's the case, and that's what the brisa means to say. That's only talking about the hides of a balabayis that you can metaltil. But if it was an uman, you could not. Then ihochi asked the Gemara, hodetani, that which it teaches in the brisa, v'loy omru avudin ella le'inyan tuma bilvad, that we only taught the distinction between tanned or not tanned in regards to tuma. Let us make a distinction and teach within the muktzah realm itself as follows. When do we say that when there's no distinction between tanned and not tanned in regards to muktzah, that's shel balabayis? But in regards to the uman, we will make a distinction. Says the Gemara, no, kula b'bal habayis k'mayi, where they're talking about the entire brisa of a balabayis. And therefore, we had to then schlep over to then saying that there's a distinction only in regards to a tanned hide, in regards to mekabel tuma or not mekabel tuma. But in regards to muktzah, there is no distinction. The Gemara says, kitanoi, in truth, it's a machlokes tanoim whether the hides of a balabayis are muktzah or not. As follows: Or shel balabayis metalpul inoison, v'shel uman ein metalpul inoison. The Tanakama says over here a distinction between the balabayis and the uman. Where in regards to the hides of a balabayis, you can metalpul on Shabbos. In regards to the uman's hide, you cannot metalpul Shabbos. Rabbi Yosi oimer echad ze ve'echad ze metalpul inoison. However, Rabbi Yosi argues. And Rabbi Yossi the Tana says that you could metaltil even the hides of a balabayis. Says the Gemara now, the same Chachamim, Rabbi Yonason ben Achinoi, who was sitting together with Rabbi Yonason ben Elozar, they were also sitting in another, either the same instance or another instance. V'kamiboy lehu, says the Gemara, Hodu yasu v'kamiboy lehu. They were sitting together, and further, Rabbi Chanina Bar Chama asked them the following question: Hodisnan ovos malochos arbaim choser achas keneged mi. That which it says in the Mishnah that there are 39 malochos that are av malochos that one cannot do on Shabbos. Those correspond to what? To what do they correspond to? Omar lehu Rabbi Chanina Bar Chama keneged avodas hamishkan. They asked Rabbi Chanina Bar Chama this question, and Rabbi Chanina Bar Chama responded, they are keneged the avodas hamishkan. They correspond to the 39 different malachos that were done in the Mishkan, and thereby those are the same malachos that cannot be done on Shabbos. After all, Shabbos is like a Mishkan. It's a spiritual tabernacle, but instead of in a place, it's in time. But it's a Mokom Mikdash. Omar lehu Rabbi Yonason bar Rabbi Elozar kach Amar Rabbi Shimon Rabbi Yosi ben Lekunya keneged malacha. Rabbi Yonason ben Elozar says that indeed he has a Mesara from Rabbi Yosi ben Lekunya that these 39 malachas referring to the Mishnah correspond to the word malacha, malachtoi, Umaleches Shabbatar. When it says these three words of malacha, malachta, malaches in the Torah, it says it 39 times. Arbaim choser achas. And therefore, these are the same 39 malachos that the Torah is coming to say you're limited on these 39 malachos that were done in the Mishkan and not to add anything beyond those malachos. Boy, Rabbi Yosef asked, "Vayavoy habayso la'asos malachto." In regards to Yosef HaTzadik, when it said that he went to his bayis, the house that he was the in charge of, the house of Potiphar, and it says that he went to that house to do malachto miminyanahu. Oy, is this included in the count of the 39 that you're mentioning before or not? Omar le Abaye, v'leisi sefer Torah limni. Bring a sefer Torah, let's count all of the times that it says malacha, malachta, maleches, to see if indeed this is one of the 39. Miloy Omar Rabbe Barbachana Rabbi Yochanan Lo Zozu Mishom Ad Shehiviu Sefer Torah Minom. Don't we have a precedent that Rabbi Barchanan said in Rabbi Yochanan that let us count what is said in the Torah? So let us do that as well over here, and to count the times that it says malacha and malachtoi and maleches in the Torah, to know if they're 39, and includes this pasuk in regards to Yosef HaTzadik when it says Vayovah habayisa la'asos malachtoi. Omale ki mesafka li mishum dirsiva malacha haisadayim. I have a suffix because there's a verse in regards to the Klal Yisrael bringing all of the different types of things that were requested, that were needed for the Mishkan. It says v'hamalacha haisadayim, that they brought all of these things with such an enthusiasm it was enough. Miminyanu, is this included also in the count, the word hamalacha? The whole command, the Omar la'asoi srochav nichnas, and therefore the opinion that says that Yosef HaTzadik, when it said in the pasuk, Vayovai habayis alazos malachto, it meant malachto refers to his srochav, meaning to be together with Eshes Potifar, or Dilma Vayovai habayis alazos malachto miminyonahu, or perhaps the verse of malachto in regards to Yosef was included in the 39 count. And therefore the verse of Vahamalocha Dayim Haisadayim was not included in the 39. The Gemara says, Teku, it's an unresolved question. Tanya, going back to what we just said before, according to the opinion that 39 in the Mishnah corresponds to the 39 malachos in the Mishkan, Tanya, Kiman da Omar Keneged Avodas HaMishkan, like the one who says that it corresponds to the avodas that were done in the Mishkan. Those 39 malachos done in the Mishkan are the 39 malachos that are also to be done on Shabbos. The Tanya, as the following verse indicates, Ein chayavin ela al malacha shekiyotze b'haisa b'Mishkan. You are not obligated for doing any malacha on Shabbos midiaraisa, referring to avos malachos, other than those that were done in the Mishkan. Heim zaru va'atem lo tizru. They planted various types of plants in order to then dye and use it for the Mishkan. So too you cannot plant on Shabbos. Heim katzru va'atem lo tiktzeru. They harvested and you cannot harvest. Heim ha'elu es hakroshi mikarka la'agola. They lifted up and passed the wooden beams of the Mishkan from the ground to the Agola. So too you cannot, therefore you cannot enter from the Reshus HaRabim to the Reshus HaYachid. Heim horidu es hakroshim ma'agol lakarka. They did the opposite by then lowering down the beams from the agola to the karka. You cannot then be moitzi Reshus HaYachid Reshus HaRabim. Heim hoitziu ma'agola agola. They went from one, passing the beams from one agola, one carriage, one agola to the other agola. And so you cannot then transfer from one Reshus HaYachid to another Reshus HaYachid. Reshus HaYachid, Reshus HaYachid, Maika Ovid. Abai v'ro damar travayu v'itein rab adabar ava Reshus HaYachid, Reshus HaYachid, derech Reshus HaRabim. Not to go in between with the Reshus HaRabim. Therefore, you cannot pass an object from Reshus HaYachid if there's in between another Reshus HaYachid, a Reshus HaRabim. That was done in the Mishkan, that would be Osir. So too, on Shabbos, that's one of the Avos Malachos that would be Osir of Hoitzah.